I have 6% vision in my right eye, and I have a little bit of light perception in my left. What I can see is just big blocks of colour and not a lot of detail. My lack of vision has obviously been a significant impact on my life. Negative in the sense that it restricted me in some areas, like some of the potential professions and education. But I want to lead as a normal life as possible and a productive and happy life, and Australia has given me that opportunity. So I'm not going to sit on the couch and whinge about it. Some people are absolutely, when they meet me, amazed. Sometimes they actually forget that I actually have a vision impairment. I've had people throw me their car keys and say, "Did you want to drive, Will?" And I'll say, "Well, if you want me to drive, that's fine, but don't expect to get there safely." Now, I recently separated from my wife and have moved to a new suburb in the western suburbs of Melbourne, and I've been very fortunate to have met my neighbours and to get on quite well with them. I'm currently landscaping my front yard and my backyard, which is an enormous undertaking, and they're interested in the fact that they've shared a little bit of my life story as well. I've got two absolutely wonderful children, Jonathan, who's 9 years old, and Andrew, who's 8. We do a lot of bike riding on the weekends and a lot of other activities, but the one thing that's really wonderful about them is they understand my vision impairment, and they're very helpful. I tend to have one on either side of me, and they're my eyes. So whenever anything's coming up front, they'll yell out, whether it be a bump or a person. It's fantastic to have two sets of eyes watching out for me. My friendship with Con, who's been my taxi driver for 10 years, has certainly grown over the years. Con was there when he took my first child home from hospital. He's been there when the kids have thrown up in the taxi. He's been there all the time for my family. Con drives me to work every day, and we grab a coffee on the way, we have a chat. And Con, being from Greece and coming to Australia too when he was in his teens, I guess we've got some similarities there as well. Our dynamics of their family are quite interesting because Mum and Dad already had 3 of their own natural-born children, and then decided to adopt 3 children from Vietnam. At a time, I think, that was considered to be quite a brave and bold move. I've had a close relationship with my younger sister Marita. The special bond is, I guess, that we're probably a very similar age, and we've had that same link in terms of coming from Vietnam as young children, and we've shared the whole dynamics of being adopted. I guess the real important element is that even though we're adopted, the adoption issue isn't really at the forefront. It's really much that we are just part of the Kelly family. I've always had an interest in growing plants, and I have that today, and certainly in every place I've gone to I've continued that interest, and I thought that was just fantastic for the kids to be part of that and to be able to come home and just pick fresh strawberries and tomatoes and recognise that it didn't all come shrink-wrapped bags in supermarkets. So in my new house I've put in some new garden beds, and the boys were excited to plant their own vegetables. The word refugee is something that I, as a kid, grew up hearing a lot. I've had the opportunity to have a much more successful life than I probably would have if I'd stayed in Vietnam after the war. So I understand very much the need of refugees to seek a better life, and Australia is still a beautiful and wonderful country that really provides that opportunity.